Hello everyone, you're welcome back to this channel. What I have today is how to make this collar v-neck design. As you can see, isn't this lovely? Very beautiful, and I hope you love this. And that is why I've endeavored to take my time and share with you how this tutorial, how this collar v-neck design is being achieved. It's very easy. All you need to do is just to take your time and watch this video to the end, and at the end you discover that it's something you can make yourself. Now you can see how unique it is. Even I went ahead to create a V shape at the collar itself. I know you will really like this. Just take your time, like I said, and watch this video to the end. And at the end, yes, you are good to go. Okay, can you see? Lovely, beautiful, unique, perfect, and nice. So let's go. So let's get started. Now, this is the front piece which I will be working with. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is to, you can see it's folded into two equal parts. Can you see? So right now I'm going to measure from the shoulder. I'm going to measure 3 inches inward, 3 inches as my width for this neckline. So I have it here. I will be using 3 inches, like I said, for the width of the neckline. Now, from that point, I'm going to mark 7 inches downwards in a slant manner. So here is it. I will be marking 7 inches. Can you see? So I mark. Let me connect with my ruler. Can you see? So right now I'm going to cut this off. So haven't cut it off. So I'm going to open. This is what I have. So I'm going to take this off. Then I keep this aside. So this is what I will be working with. So it is on this I'm going to have my tie, and I'm going to measure what I have as the length and also as the width. Now here I have like a 7 1/4 of an inch, that is 7.25 of an inch, that is for the width, both sides. So you can see it's the same thing. Then for the length here I have like 20 inches. So this is what I have, that is for the length, and it's the same for both pieces. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to fold it. I'm going to place it together like this. Okay, so you could place it right side to right side. You could place it anyhow at this juncture. could place it anyhow. Just make sure that it's of equal length. That is the main thing right here. Equal length and equal width. So as you can see me adjusting, making sure that the width is the same, equal, and also the length equal, so that I wouldn't have any shortage at the end of the day. So I'm going to a bit make this equal at the base. That is just the essence of what I'm doing right here, making sure that the length, the two pieces have the same length and the same width. So right now I'm going to measure from the base here. I'm going to measure 2 inches. That is for the width of the tie. So 2 inches is okay for me. You could make yours in 2.5, but I wouldn't want it to be too wide. So that's why I'm using 2 inches. Look at it here, 2 inches. So now at the upper part here, I will be making use of 3 inches. Why I made 2 inches for the base, I'm making 3 inches for the upper part here. And this upper part here is going to be placed on my shoulder neck or on my neckline. So right now, what I'm going to do is to take my ruler and I'm going to connect the line as it is on the fabric. So as you can see it now, it's going to give me a slant shape because this side is wider than the base. So right now I'm going to connect the lines together like I'm doing right now. I connect it together, making sure that I'm marking or connecting this line together based on the mark that I've just made in terms of the width. So I connect. Okay, connect. You see? So right now what I'm going to do, having connected the lines together, the next thing I'm going to do right here is at the base here, I'm going to come in by 1 inch. I come in by 1 inch. So right now I'm going to connect this line to the tip here. That's the next thing I will be doing. And I will also be mindful of the fact that the width must be equal. It must be laid very well, equal width and length. So let me use the shorter ruler. So I'm going to place it like this. I hope you can see it like this. So I'm going to connect this line at the base. Okay. Can you see? So right now I'm going to slash this off first. I'm going to cut it off. Can you see? So right now, then I go to the upper part. I cut it, tracing the line which I've marked, because this line is a guideline. So carefully I cut it off like that. Okay, can you see? So right now, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to separate it. So I'm going to separate, and I'm folding right side to right side. Can you see? Right side to right side. So from here, I'm going to come up by 9 inches from this part. Why I'm coming in by 9 inches here is because I'm supposed to come in by 10 inches, but because I've removed 1 inch from it, so it's now left with 9 inches for me to slash. So from this tip here, I'm going to mark 9 inches upward. I mark it at that point. So as I mark it at that point, I'm going to slit it like half an inch inward. Just watch me the way I do it right now. But whatever I'm doing right here, I'll make sure that the width of this of what I've just cut is the same, and that is why you can see me adjusting it, because the fabric is a bit stretchy. So you can see I've slashed with like 0.5 inward. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do right now is to come to this side, the unfold side here. So I'm going to mark like 3.5 inches inward. I mark 3.5, between 3 and 3.5. Okay, so from that point I'm going to mark 4 inches. So from this point I'm going to mark, it depends on how wide you want the what I'm going to impute it, how wide you want it to be. But in my own case, I think 2 inches is okay. So I'm going to mark 2 inches right here. 2 inches after this 3.5 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do, I look for the center point. So in the center point here, I'm going to mark like 3/4 of an inch inward. So from that point, I will just connect straight to this. So from the midpoint, make sure it is from the midpoint. So you see here we have 2 inches. So the midpoint is actually here, and which I've just done. It's just for clarity purpose. That's why I just have to clarify that side. So from the midpoint, you can see it's from on the midpoint. So from that midpoint, I'm going to slash my ruler like this. You can see me adjusting it, making sure that the width is the same. So I'm going to mark. I'm going to mark. Then I also connect to the center point. Can you see? So right now, the next thing I'm going to do is to seal. So I'm going to seal from this side. I'm going to seal from, I won't seal on this very line, but I'm going to come in like by 1/4 of an inch, that is 2.5 centimeter inch. And also I sew it to this point. So I won't get to this point. I will leave like 0.5. I will stop here. So the same thing, I will come in by that 1/4 of an inch, starting my stitching from here, and I will also meet here. Okay, so then after this, then I can now sew. So I'm going to sew right from the base here down to the point where I slash. Okay, so that's the next thing I'm going to do. And what I've just done on this one, I will also repeat on the second um piece here. So it must be uniform, it must be the same, it must be the same. So you can see the other time I came down by 3.5 inches. That's exactly what I will also do here. I will come down by 3.5 inches. Okay, then after that I'm going to mark from this point. I'm going to mark 2 inches downward again. I mark 2 inches downward. So I'm going to look for the midpoint here, and the midpoint is here. That is 1 inch from my left hand side. Can you see? So I'm going to mark like exactly what I mark here. I mark here 1/3 of an inch. So I'm going to mark 1/3 of an inch also here, facing the center. So the next thing I'm going to do is to connect just exactly like I did on the first piece. I connect. Okay, so I will also go to the other side and do likewise. I connect. Can you see? So the next thing is just to stitch it the way I've just explained, that you're going to come in by 1/4 inch here, and you stitch to this point here, not to this same point here, not to this point where I stop by 1/3. No. So you come in by 0.5. I'm going to stop here, and also the same thing repeating here, and also stop here. After that, then I will go to the base. I will sew, leaving like 1/4 inch at the base. Then I sew. So I'm going to start my sewing right here. It's okay. So I sew. Then here I'm going to sew on 0.5. So you can see where I slash. So let me quickly slash the second piece. So I mark 9 inches inward, and here is it. So from that point, I'm going to come in by 0.5. That will be my allowance for sewing. Okay, so here. So I'm going to slit it at that point. Just exactly what I did in the first piece. Okay, can you see? Can you see? So the next thing is to run a stitch. So right now I've stitched it. You can see I've stitched from the base down to the where the slit is. Can you see? And I also went ahead to also seal this triangular side. Now lest I forget, the other time, sorry, the other time I said that you should not stitch up to this point. Sorry, what I actually mean is that at the time of slashing, at the time by when I will open it, when I will cut it, that's what I actually mean. You are to sew from that point, this point here, to that particular place where I came in by 1/3 of an inch. Sorry. So and also from that point in to this point. So at the time of slashing now, and this is what I actually mean then. So at the time by which I'm going to slash right now, so I won't slash exactly on it. So I'm going to come in by 1/4 inch, uh 1/4 inch, and that is what you can see what I've left here. So I will come in by 1/4 inch, and where I'm going to stop, you can see I'm going to stop like 0.5 from that point inward like this. That is what I actually mean. So I'm also doing it to the other side here. Okay, can you see? So I cut it off. Can you see right now? This is what I mean. So the next thing is just to slash it, making sure that it doesn't cut, it doesn't get to that particular point, but I will be very careful. Okay, so you can see how I slash it. The reason why it has to be like this, so that by the time I do the turning, I turn it inside out, so it will relax very well. And this is what I'm going to also replicate in or repeat here. So I will come in by 1/4 inch like this. So I will also do it to the other side, 1/4 inch like this. Okay, so I take this off. So the other one here, so I'm going to slash it up to that point, but making sure that it doesn't touch the exact. Can you see what I've done? So that is it. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to turn it inside out. So this is the right side, so I'm going to turn it. You see, so I also come here, turn it, then here also do likewise. At this base here, I'm going to slash it a bit so that the pointed side will come out very well. And that is exactly what I will be doing also to the second piece here. So I bring it out. You can use a sharp object, but not too sharp, but a sharp object, very sharp object, just to bring the pointed um, base out. Okay, can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do, you can see I brought it out, making sure that this one is also brought out. Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to use my iron and press it so that it will relax very well. That's the next thing I will be doing right now. Okay, and this, what I've just done on this, is what I will also repeat on the second piece. So as you can see right here, I went to iron it to bring out the shape. As you can see, the shape is very neat and beautiful. Already the shape is now out. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, before I place it on the fabric, then what I'm going to do first here is to stitch this place. I'm going to stitch it not to this 0.5, but I'm going to use like a quarter of an inch to stitch it up so that it won't give me some inconveniences by the time I place it on the fabric to stitch on. So that's the next thing I'll be doing right now. Now, as you can see right here, I've run a stitch of like a quarter of an inch. So use it just to hold it, like I said earlier on. And that is what I've also done to the other part here. So the next thing, to the other piece here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to place it on the main fabric. Can you see? So I'm going to place it on it like this. Okay, so I place it on it like this. So I'm going to run a stitch of 0.5 this time. So the stitch is going to be extended to this side, that is to cover this. So from the upper part here, I'm going to run it down to this part. After that, then on getting to this place, I'm going to take the other piece, the second piece. Okay, so I place it like this also, making sure that it's of the same length. So I'm going to put this inward like this. So I put it inward like this. Can you see? So I stitch it to meet this. After that, then I go over to run a stitch across this side. Okay, so that's the next thing I will be doing right now. So now, as you can see right here, I went ahead to stitch it like I explained the other time up to this point. Then I inserted the other side, the other piece inward of this to meet it at where this one reaches at the point here. Then after that, I now run a stitch. I ran a stitch up to this edge here. So the next thing I did was to slash it at the midpoint so that by the time I continue with it, it will relax very well. That's just the essence of me slashing it at the center point, as you can see it right here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to I'm going to bend this one, the excess which I have here, I bend it towards the main fabric itself like this. Can you see? So I've bent it towards to this side. So the next thing is to run a stitch from here like this to the center point and also to this side, after which I will also bend this one exactly what I'm doing right to this one. So that's the next stitch. And the reason why it's like that is so that this one can relax very well, so that it will relax like this and the joining will not be visible outside. So here comes the final of the tutorial. You can see what I did. I've perfected that of the neck, like I said, and I also went ahead. I took the same fabric of length like 4.5 inches, like this. You can see. Now for the width, I have like approximately 2 inches. Now what I did was this is the wrong side. I folded it like this. That is, the right side is inside. So having folded it, I ran a stitch here to the midpoint. I left some space here and I continue with this down to this place, to the end here. Then after that, then I open it, I press it like this. I press it flat like this. Then I run a stitch here on both ends. After that, then I turn this one inside out. So when I turn it inside out, I have the right side, okay? After that, then I went to the base here, okay? I went to the base here. I measure based on the width of the hole. So I measure like 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches at the center of the neckline. Then haven't measured that, so I went ahead. I stitch it on one hand. After stitching it on one hand like this, I place it like this. I stitch it. After that, I came over like this and I fold this in. Then I stitch it. So that is what I'm having like this. Okay, that is just the next thing I did. After that, I now pass this tie into it. As you can see right now, the tie passes through it so that it will stay firm. So, and that is the essence. And apart from it even beautifies it. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to close this place, to stitch it so that by the time I fix it to the bodies, it will not give me any stress. So I really want to appreciate you for taking your time to watch this video. Thank you very much. I hope you have found this tutorial very helpful. If you have, please kindly give it a thumbs up, please. And please don't forget to share this video out. Can you see how lovely this v-neck or collar v-neck top, design is? So I really want to appreciate you. I know you like this because this is very beautiful and unique. Yes. Now here comes the conclusion of this tutorial. If you have any comments, please feel free to drop your comment. If you have any question, kindly drop your question. So if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, lest I forget, kindly do that now. Just click on the subscribe button and you hit on the notification bell so that you can have access to my videos as I release more videos. Thank you very much. So till I come your way again, bye for now.